it looks like the Suicide Squad, the movie that is being directed by James Gunn, has a new spin-off show coming in the form of Peacemaker.
Ooh.
So HBO Max has just ordered an 8-episode series. And here, let me jump down to the article so you guys can see. Here we go. HBO Max has called in the Peacemaker, ordering a TV spinoff of James Gunn's upcoming Suicide Squad movie starring John Cena. Now, previously, John Cena, it kind of seems like they've been put in. When I say they, I mean like Hollywood in general. They've tried to kind of push this idea or agenda of John Cena being kind of like the next Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Like, he's a big guy, he's stacked, he's a teddy bear of a human being. He's very sweet, very nice, very kind. But he's also not the greatest actor in the world. Well, one of the strengths of James Gunn is that James Gunn knows how to write for his actors. Dave Bautista, very famously. Dave Bautista, not the greatest actor in the world, but the way that James Gunn wrote the character of Drax for, for Guardians of the Galaxy. Excuse me. I just said his name. Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista knew how to fill out that role perfectly. Martin, when you hear that John Cena is now going to be starring in his own television show of The Peacemaker based on his character from the Suicide Squad, how does that make you feel? And like, what kind of a show do you think this is going to be?
Yeah, I like it, honestly. I mean, I think John Cena has a lot going for him. He's, I think the biggest problem is that people keep putting him into into a role that is Dwayne Johnson, when he isn't. I mean, yeah, he's a different guy. He's got a different personality. And in spite of so many similarities, he's a different actor. You wouldn't expect Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, though they were both 80s action stars with a lot of similarities. They're different actors. And they needed different roles in order to make everything go. And so I think that John Cena needs his own vehicle that is not an imitation of Dwayne Johnson to really shine.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. John Cena needs a vehicle that is all his own, that is curtailed to him, that is not a Dwayne Johnson project. Yeah, and I get it. Like, Dwayne Johnson and John Cena have shared the screen before, very famously in the Fast and the Furious movie, or one of the Fast and Furious movies. Spoiler: I've not seen any of the Fast and Furious movies. I need to get caught up. But
favor.
Say what?
You need to do yourself a favor.
Apparently so. Apparently that's what a lot of other people think. Martin, I'm curious to hear what Eileen has to say on the subject.
Oh.
Eileen, in case you haven't heard, there's a new movie coming out. Or I'm sorry, it's a television show. It's a new television show coming out called The Peacemaker. Now, the character of the Peacemaker, he wants people to get along and just be, peaceful and love each other and be happy. He doesn't want any problems to happen in the world, but it comes at a price. He's willing to do some really bad things in order to make sure that people get along. Do you think that is a television show that people are going to like? Does that sound interesting to you? What do you think?
Well, I think people would definitely watch it. I'm not quite sure if I would like it though. sometimes you just have to dig in and find out. At first, I thought I would like a tracing pad for Christmas, but then when I watched the unboxing video on YouTube, I was like, nope, I don't even want that any close.
And that's a great point that you bring up. Is that sometimes the concept sounds interesting, but then when you actually watch it, sometimes you may not like what you get. Does that sound right?
Yes, that does.
Now, Tommy, when you hear about a character like Peacemaker, he wants everybody to be peaceful, but he's also willing to do some really bad things to make that happen. Is that something that you would like to see, or do you think that's not so good?
Would you like to watch it, Tommy? No, on Plus. I don't want to watch it on Plus. I don't. I like part of the parts of it, but I like part of it I don't like. We haven't watched it
That's
yet.
totally fair. And I think that just speaks to the subjectivity of film and television. Sometimes things get put out on TV that we don't like, and sometimes things get put out on TV that we do like. Does that sound fair? Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
All right.
I do like that DC,
Daddy.
a bit like Marvel did with Guardians of the Galaxy, is attempting to explore characters outside the Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman pantheon. I think I apologize for that. But I think that okay, yes, everything is updated, Tommy. I apologize.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
This is just family life. This is family life in the Brown household.
This is live television at its best.
But no,
folks.
you make a great point. Is that DC is doing a really great job at exploring characters and storylines and things that aren't necessarily like your big name draws. And I think a lot of that comes from, Marvel kind of set the precedent for that just a little bit with Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, nobody knows who Guardians of the Galaxy were, and nobody knew who Guardians of the Galaxy were until James Gunn comes along and is like, hey, let's do something crazy. Let's do something completely off the mark.
If I may, I actually think DC beat Marvel to the punch with Arrow. I'm a longtime Green
That's a
Arrow
good point.
fan. Loved Green Arrow as a kid. The old Grell comics. The Longbow Hunter. I loved those.
Kevin Smith.
And
Kevin
I love
Smith.
The Kevin Smith
Quiver.
The Kevin Smith Quiver was an outstanding. It's an outstanding novel on its own. But I loved the 1970s trip with Hal Jordan and Ollie Queen. Excuse me, I'm trying to feel the kid.
Harley Quinn and yeah,
Harley Quinn, Ollie Queen. I don't know what I've got Harley Queen all of a sudden. Well, I'm also trying to referee an MMA fight here in the living room, it sounds like. But so what I think that, and I think that they did this is the new version, Thomas. This is it. No, this is it. Eileen, it is it.
Well, while Martin tries to corral an MMA fight over there in his household, I think
you cut away for a moment. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You were saying. Oh, and he was not saying. So we'll let Martin kind of corral his children doing whatever it is that they're doing. What children will do. If anybody out there has kids, you understand that sometimes kids will completely pull attention and draw attention from whatever else is happening. But big question for you guys is: Are you excited? Are you excited for a new Peacemaker show when the Suicide Squad movie hasn't even come out yet? We know that the Suicide Squad got pushed back an entire year, so it's not coming out until a year from now. Which actually may, depending on when they start filming the Peacemaker show with John Cena, which sounds like it's going to be pretty soon. We may we very well may be getting the Suicide Squad movie and a Peacemaker television show all at the same time. Now, it also bears mentioning that the Peacemaker television show is a prequel. It is not a continuation of Peacemaker's story after Suicide Squad. If it were, that would be a spoiler for Suicide Squad to say Peacemaker makes it out of the movie fine and dandy. No, no, no. We have no idea. In fact, that was one of the big polls for James Gunn to take over duty in the Suicide Squad universe, is that he had carte blanche to kill any character he wanted. That includes Harley Quinn. If he wanted to kill off Harley Quinn in this movie, he could do it. DC, Warner Brothers, they gave him a full license and full ability. He could kill off anybody he wants. Now, it's my personal opinion, and more so hope, that they kill off Pete Davidson's character, because I don't like Pete Davidson. And I understand there's plenty of people out there that love Pete Davidson. That's fine. You go ahead and love Pete Davidson all that you want. I can't stand the guy, and I don't want to see him in Suicide Squad. So I would love for Pete Davidson to be the first person to bite the dust. Martin, are you... Oh, looks like you're still out. Okay, so we'll check... Oh, there he is. So, are you on mute right now?
Oh, I
There you go.
was, so that we didn't have to hear people breaking chairs
Oh,
over
that's
each
totally
other.
fine. So your final thoughts about a new Peacemaker film, or a television show, possibly actually coming out at the same time as the Suicide Squad movie? Could this actually boost ticket sales for Suicide Squad? Or do you think it's a bad idea to have two very similar properties coming out at the same time?
I don't know. I think there you've got a crapshoot. I mean, it could come up Snake Eyes. You could come up, Seven. It might be a big win or a big loss. I think it's going to be one of those two. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of room in the middle for it. I think that DC is seeming to find a lot more traction with television, and so I question the wisdom of DC's constant pushes toward movies. And I understand that movies have, for many, many years, raked in the dough, but we're coming to see with big budget, high-end cable networks that they are doing very well.
With shows like The Sopranos, I would even say Sex and the City, Breaking Bad, The Wire, like that ushered in a brand new storytelling experience that, up until then, we'd really only had kind of, I don't want to say cheesy or campy television, but it's always been episode of the week. Like up until those shows started happening, we never had like a congruous storyline to kind of look at as like a cinematic experience. And now we live in the day and age of streaming, Netflix and Amazon Prime, Apple TV Plus, Hulu. Like, we have all these streaming services that are latching onto this idea of let's do like some really intense storytelling that we can do on the small screen that we could never get away with on the big screen.
Well, and look at the COVID and post-COVID world. I mean, we don't live in a place right now. We have where we have the ability to go to theaters. Your box office draw is not there right now, and the entire COVID experience, at least for some time afterwards, might change the way we view movies. A home release and home streaming premieres are not going to carry the same amount of box office cash as did everybody heading to AMC theater. But here now we go.
No, yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Like the whole landscape is changing.
I do apologize, Mike. I think I'm going to have to bounce off
No
right
problem, not a problem. Martin,
here. Thanks.
of course, yeah. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks for offering your 2 cents and, just being with us for a little while. So as we let Martin go, we're just going to move on. But you guys, the big question here is, what do you think of the new television show Peacemaker coming out? It's probably going to come out right around the same time as James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Also, every episode of the show being written by James Gunn. Most episodes being directed by James Gunn. This is a huge project, you guys. This is not just some kind of afterthought of like, hey, this is going to be a fun character to see, or rather the right character for John Cena to go off and, to kind of headline. So anyway, big question is for you guys, what do you... Woo! I am just a ball of gas today. Like I said, when I started the show today, this is going to be a fly by the seat of your pants kind of a show. My apologies. What do you guys think of the new Peacemaker show coming out? Are you looking forward to it? Do you think it's overkill? See what I did there? Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles would want you to do. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.